Hey guys, it's Paul with VHSCollector.com here to bring you a Blu-ray review, and it's been quite a while, 6 or 7 months since I did any type of videos, mainly because I was back at school, and at the time I was also remastering and re-editing, doing the new narration for the How Rob Zombie Destroyed Halloween video, which took quite a bit of my time, but once I finished that I was kind of burned out with video editing and all those things. So and I had to focus on school anyway, so it didn't matter. But in the meantime, I've been buying lots of different Blu-rays and trying to upgrade my DVD collection. And when it was announced that Sleepaway Camp 2 and 3 were going to be released on Blu-ray, I was incredibly excited. I absolutely love these movies. Growing up, I watched them repeatedly, of course, on VHS, and I've always liked the first movie, but I feel like the first movie and the sequels are just two totally different worlds. The narration is one complete universe, one complete story, but I still feel like the sequels are just worlds apart from the first movie, but not in a bad way. I still think they complete the narrative of the first, but in a different but very good way, a very fun way, a very tongue-in-cheek kind of way that I enjoyed very much. The killings were very funny. I loved Angela Baker, or Angela Johnson as she is in the sequels. I thought she was great. Pamela Springsteen was awesome. This isn't really a review of the movies. All you guys who are watching this probably have seen the movies. No point in me talking about them over again, but I'll just say that they're great, fun 80s slasher films. So if you like the first, you might hate the sequels, or you might like the sequels more than the first because they're so different. But overall, I think the sequels are just great late 80s slasher films. So let's look at the Blu-rays here. These officially come out on June 9th, I believe, but if you pre-ordered from Shout Factory, you got them like 2 weeks earlier. And you also get pretty nice sized posters of the cover arts, which I couldn't care less for. I'm probably going to either throw them out or sell them because, as I'm about to show you, the cover art for these are not, in my opinion, very good. Let's see. Sleepaway Camp 2 Blu-ray. Look at that cover art. Look at her face. Her face looks like she has like some kind of deformity. I don't understand. Is that going to focus? There we go. Look at that. What is wrong with her face? It doesn't even look like Pamela Springsteen. I mean, everything else on the cover looks great. It's just her face is hideous to look at. I don't know why this was accepted from Shout Factory. It just looks hideous. So that's just my opinion. I mean, I think the original cover art was perfect. I know that they wanted all three Sleepaway Camp movies to have the same feel and theme, and so that's why they went back to the same artist who did the new artwork for the first Sleepaway Camp Blu-ray release, which I guess makes sense, except that her face on this cover looks wretched. Looks terrible. I just don't like it. Everything else, like I said, looks great, right? But of course, you get the reversible sleeve, like many of the Screen Factory releases. A lot of these Blu-ray companies are doing this, especially independent Blu-ray companies that do a lot of horror or genre films. But there's no point in having the same cover art twice, so I used the original cover art, which is better anyway. This cover art sold me on this movie originally. You can't go wrong with this. This movie sums up everything about 80s horror, right? You got the two horror references, the two horror icons of the 80s, which of course is Jason Voorhees and Freddy Krueger on there, and you got a cute girl on the cover, which of course is not Pamela Springsteen, but that doesn't matter. So I don't think that this really needs any improvement with new cover art, but like I said, they wanted to make it consistent with the first Blu-ray release, so I guess I understand it. But if you look really closely to this original artwork, of course, like I said, this is the side of the sleeve, which uses the original artwork. It is hideous. It is incredibly grainy, dark. They just did a terrible job touching up this original artwork. I don't know if they intended to add grain, some kind of film aesthetic to it. I don't think so. It just looks hideous. I have the VHS, of course, and it looks a lot sharper than this. I also have a a nice size original video poster of this, a video store promo poster for this movie, which is incredibly rare. So if they did their homework, Shot Factory, they could find a very good image of this and use it for this cover, but they didn't. I don't know where they got this from because it's just not sharp. I don't know if I could really get in on there to get an idea or a feel of how bad the work was done on this original artwork, but not happy about that because this is really the only cover art for me for this movie. Here's the back. I really don't know what to say about the back. Of course, it comes with DVD and Blu-ray. I really don't understand why they're still making DVDs as well. Like, first of all, you have to understand, creating a DVD also just boosts the value of this. I mean, the cost of it, I should say. Because now we have to pay a little bit extra because some idiots out there don't want to upgrade their entertainment system and get a Blu-ray player. What are you doing? Like, do you really don't want to get a Blu-ray player? Like, I don't understand. I know that some people might have portable DVD players, or they got DVD players embedded into their cars. So I guess for some people it's nice to have the DVD as well, but it's just an unnecessary expense for the company that's producing these and for us. Upgrade your system. There should only be Blu-ray. If you need a DVD so bad of this movie, guess what? Anchor Bay did that already. It's out there. Buy that if you need the DVD release. It's just no point in me having to have that extra disc on there that's not doing anything. I'm never going to use that DVD release. I'm never going to play it. Why? I wanted the Blu-ray. If I wanted just the DVD, I would stick with the Anchor Bay. There is additional feature on here, but I mean, anybody who's interested in this movie enough to buy this release just for the extra feature that's on here should probably get a Blu-ray player and watch the movie in higher definition. It doesn't make sense to me, but whatever. Let's look at the features on here. Now, it has the original audio commentary track from the Anchor Bay DVD box set. Here's the thing I have with these commentary tracks. First of all, this is a great commentary track. First, I like to say, I think, who narrates it? John Kleiza, or if is that his name? From, I think, the Sleepaway Camp website or something. He is totally creepy and weird on that commentary track, and he tries to be funny, and he just totally fails. And you could just tell that Michael Simpson and Fritz Gordon are totally creeped out by this guy. I don't know that much more about this guy. I guess moderator, the guy who runs the Sleepaway Camp website, I guess. Except that from the commentary tracks, he comes off as kind of creepy. I don't know. But anyway, this commentary track is over 10 years old, right? So if you don't know that, and if you haven't bought the Anchor Bay box set, you wouldn't know that that commentary is 10 years old. And it's really, really important for those who are listening to the commentary track to know when it was recorded. Because there's a lot of information on here that might be inaccurate, or additional research might have been done after the commentary was recorded. And so sometimes it might just seem like Michael Simpson is just an idiot when he says, oh, well, there are condos there now where the campsite was. Of course, we now know because of another feature on here that it's still there. The campground is still there. It's just overgrown. It's decrepit. A lot of the buildings collapsed. And also on the commentary track, he references a feature with Ravenstone Song. I think that was the band Ravenstone. They did a song that he was originally going to use for the closing credits, but he's like, oh, it'll be on the special features of this DVD. Well, it's not. He was referencing the Anchor Bay DVD, not the Blu-ray release. It's really important that they date these commentary tracks, and it might even be nice or informative to say which release of this movie that commentary track is from. I think it's really important, but a lot of companies are not doing this. Arrow does this sometimes. They're very good at documenting all their features on their Blu-rays. Not all of them, but I think a lot of them they are. So yeah. So again, that commentary track is over 10 years old, tell us that. It's really important that you tell the listener that this commentary track is 10 years old, because otherwise they're just going to think that, that the writer or the director are just idiots and they don't know what they're talking about, but really they were talking 10 years ago about these movies. And so let's see. And then there's a new featurette on here. It's called, what is it called? A Tale of Two Sequels. And this has part one of that, which is, of course, about Sleepaway Camp 2. It's about 28 minutes long, and it features mostly the director and the editor, the writer, I think, and a few other people. There's not a lot of cast from this movie interviewed. There's one, I think. One of these Show sisters they tracked down, and I think that's the only actor from part two that is interviewed in there. Like, they couldn't find anybody else. Of course, Pamela Springsteen is not a good sport about these movies at all. She will never talk about them, never do an interview or talk to fans or do anything regarding these movies, which is a real shame because she looked like she had a great time making these movies. Are you really ashamed of them? Do you not want the association with slasher films? Like, I don't understand what the deal is with that. She's going to have to live with that the rest of her life, but I think she should really be a good sport about it like so many other people have. So that's unfortunate, but I don't think anyone was ever expecting Shout Factory to get an interview or even a commentary track from Pamela Springsteen, imagine. I don't know. I just think it's really selfish for her to do that. I mean, at least, even Jamie Lee Curtis did at least one convention for the fans. And she did it for a charity, She did it for a good cause, and she's even bigger than, as far as celebrity status, than Pamela Springsteen. So I just feel like, she could have made that effort for these fans. So that feature was pretty informative. I would like to see more of the actors on there, but I guess they'll just get what they can get from the actors. I mean, I guess a lot of people didn't want to come forward and do an interview. I don't know. Then it has behind-the-scenes footage with commentary track. This is the same exact thing pulled from the DVD. What else is on here? It has, let's see. It has the promo trailer, the video promo trailer, which is ripped from an old VHS. It looks terrible. It's probably just directly ripped from the Anchor Bay DVD. And it also has a stupid, pointless little short video of what would have happened to Molly had she survived or something. Excuse me. Which is really pointless. It's about 59 seconds long, and 10 seconds of that is, I think, Jeff Hayes or whoever it is describing exactly what you're about to watch. So it's only about 40 seconds long, but on the features list it calls it a short film. It's only 40 seconds long, and it's just shaky camera footage running through the woods or something. It's supposed to be adapted from something in the screenplay that wasn't used in the film. It's really pointless. It's not even worth discussing. I don't know why it's in there. What else is in here? That's really it. If I remember, I would have liked to see a new commentary track with the director. A lot has happened since that original commentary track. We have Return to Sleepaway Camp, which is the other sequel to the first movie. Of course, this is far superior in my personal opinion. So what about the picture quality? Now, a lot of this movie takes place during the day, so when I heard this was coming out on Blu-ray, I thought it was going to look crisp and clean and sharp. I was really disappointed. It's not that much sharper than the DVD. Nothing really pops out. You really don't get that pop effect or that kind of 3D pop effect that you might get from some Blu-ray releases, even if it's a movie shot. And I get that effect watching The Wizard of Oz, and that was shot in the 30s, I just don't get that with this. Unfortunately, it's still quite grainy. It is a new transfer. You can tell from the film grain and the dust that even the dust is really sharp. But the film itself, there's not much more there from the DVD. It's not Shout Factory's fault, I don't think. But unfortunately, it wasn't a big enough difference for me, unfortunately. But that's the best we're gonna get with this film. It's just how it was shot, the stock it was shot on. There's nothing more there's nothing more to it than that, unfortunately. But this is a great film regardless. It's great that it's on Blu-ray, and I'll take it. Alright, so I'm going to try to keep this short because my battery's dying. It's giving me a headache. So let's just talk about Sleepaway Camp 3. Now, I said mostly what I wanted to say in the previous Sleepaway Camp 2 movie. This is pretty similar. Has a lot of the same features as, pretty much all the same features as the Anchor Bay DVD, including the original Anchor Bay commentary track. But it also has part 2 of the new Scream Factory feature, which is A Tale of Two Sequels, Part 2, New Victims and New Horizons. It just talks about Part 3. So we get additional information with the same people that were interviewed in Part 1, except we get a bunch of actors that were in Part 3. So it's interesting to get their perspective. But we still don't get any interviews from the lead actors, like what's her name in this movie? Tracy Griffith, or of course Pamela Springsteen. We don't get her at all. It has behind the scenes footage, but the behind the scenes footage is just that beginning opening scene with the garbage truck in the city. We get commentary track from the director. I believe that was also from the DVD. And it has an interesting thing on here. It has the work print for this movie, which includes all the gore. And I thought the work print was just going to be the same exact movie, just with those longer extended gore scenes. But it's not. It's actually an entire movie without any of the audio work done to it. So you could hear the director calling things out to the actors and stuff. So it's quite an interesting thing to watch. Unfortunately, it's on a VHS print. And it's the only way you could really see these uncut extended gore scenes too. So you could watch it all together as a work print, a 90-minute work print, or you could watch all the extended gore scenes in one mini extended scene featurette. The problem with that is that they're not broken up by scene. They're all just clumped together, which is really silly. If you just want to watch a specific extended scene, you can't do that. All the extended scenes are clumped together. I guess according to the new featurette on here with the editor, he says that it seems like this extended gore footage just no longer exists except what's on the VHS work print, unfortunately. So we'll probably never get an extended cut of Sleepaway Camp 3, which is the same story as with a ton of movies from this time period. It's interesting that they would have to cut all this stuff out of these movies. Well, not even Part 2. I don't think Part 2, they said that didn't have a lot of cuts. It was really Part 3 that was really hit hard by the MPAA. But I don't understand. Why were they trying to get a rating for this movie? These movies were not in theaters as far as I'm aware. They went straight to the video market. Why did you need a rating from the MPAA? Maybe some big chain stores like Blockbuster wouldn't carry them. I don't know. It just seems silly that they would fight, to get R rating. Or edit the movie down to get an R rating when they could have just left it as unrated. Lots of mom and pop video stores would have taken it, but I guess maybe that's what I'm thinking. Maybe chain video stores like Blockbuster or Hollywood Video wouldn't carry an unrated movie. I don't know. I remember my childhood, they had unrated movies, but maybe they only started taking unrated movies later down the road. I don't know. It's just unfortunate when movies have to get mutilated because of the MPAA, but I mean, I'm preaching to the choir, right? I mean, we all feel that way, but it's just the way it is. But fortunately, we do have the VHS footage. It's better than nothing, So what else is on here? So I remember from the DVD release that there was an Easter egg with a local Georgia news report on the making of Sleepaway Camp 3, which was a lot of fun to watch. And I noticed on the Shout Factory website, it did not announce that this was on the Blu-ray. And I was like, that's really disappointing. A lot of people, when they upgrade to Blu-ray, they want all the previous features from the DVD release. When I saw that that wasn't on there, I was infuriated. I was upset. It was just annoying. But when you get this, on the packaging actually says news promo. I cannot find that news promo on the disc. Can someone tell me? Is it hidden somewhere on there? Shout Factory doesn't really do Easter eggs, and if it was an Easter egg, why would they announce it on the back of the package? What is the deal with that? Can anyone tell me? It says an error. It's not on the extra features menu. So I don't know where that is. I don't know if it's on here. I don't know if they originally planned for it to be on here, but there was some kind of rights issue. I don't know what it could have been. So if anyone knows anything about that, please let me know. I'd love to know the answer to that, because that really irritates me that that little news featurette is not on here. Alright, so this is the original. I guess I should have showed you this first when talking about part 3, but this is the original artwork. Again, I feel like they did a terrible job trying to touch this up. There's actually also a video poster of this floating around. I tried buying it a long time ago on eBay when I bought the part 2 poster, but I got ripped off on eBay, unfortunately, and I never got it. But, I know, I always feel like this could have been touched up a little bit better. It looks better than the Sleepaway Camp 2 original artwork on the Blu-ray, but, it's still not as good as it could be. With Photoshop, you could almost do anything. I mean, I don't know, I just would rather have the original artwork than what some guy whipped together in Photoshop. Because a lot of this artwork, this new artwork, it's all done digitally. It's not done on a canvas, as far as I know. It's all done on a computer. He was probably sitting on his laptop or something, just whipping this up. Knowing that it's all done in a digital realm just sort of takes the spirit out of it for me. This is why I don't like CGI. This is why a lot of us don't like CGI. But I don't know. That it is what it is, I guess. So there it is, Sleepaway Camp 3 on Blu-ray. This, just like part 2, doesn't look a lot better in picture quality than the DVD. It looks a little bit better, but it's not so sharp that it's going to pop out. Details are not going to pop out. I usually like to read text in the background when I watch something on Blu-ray, just to see how sharp it is, and this really isn't all that sharp, just like part 2, also on Blu-ray. So yeah, that's Sleepaway Camp 2 and 3 on Blu-ray. Really excited to have these. And even if the picture isn't super sharp, I'm glad to have them nonetheless, knowing that I probably have them in the best way that they're ever going to look. So I'll take it. So this has been Paul with VHScollector.com. I have a bunch of other Blu-rays that I'm going to review, so keep a lookout. Have a good night, guys.